Hello everyone, in this video we'll be understanding change in quantity demanded with the help of two different terms, that is movement along the demand curve and shift in demand curve. So if we talk about movement along the demand curve, so it has two types: expansion in demand and contraction in demand. What is expansion demand? Expansion demand simply means when the price of the commodity will fall, the quantity of the quantity demand of the commodity will rise. For an example, if the apple price falls from 100 kg to 80 rupees per kg, so what will happen? People will buy more of the apples. Initially they will buying 1 kg, now they'll buy 2 kg because the apple price has reduced from 100 to 80. As we can see in the diagram also, that in the movement along the demand curve we can see the initially the price was P1 and it reduced to P2. So what will happen? There's an expansion to the demand. So there is a downward slope of demand curve. Okay. Then second is contraction of demand. Contraction of demand states that if the price of the commodity rises, there will be a reduction in the quantity demanded. Like if apple price rises from 70 to 80, so what will happen? Initially the person were buying 2 kg, now what will happen? They'll buy 1 kg. So we can say from P1 the price rises to P3 or P2 to P3. So what will happen? There is a contraction. There is a contraction demand means the demand curve is moving upward. So movement along the demand curve means from top to bottom and bottom to top. This is known to be the movement along the demand curve. Okay, we can say there is a movement up and movement down in the demand curve in this movement along the demand curve. Okay, now we're talking about shift in demand curve. So what does it mean? In movement along demand curve, just remember one thing: we are only taking the price and the quantity demanded. Rest all other factors we are keeping constant. Once again I'm repeating, in movement along the demand curve we have to keep all other factors of demand constant and only focus on price and the quantity demanded. If we talk about shift in demand curve here, what we have to do, that we have to keep the price constant and all the factors we are taking as variables, like we will be they'll be independent. Only the price we will be keeping here in shift demand curve constant. Okay, there will be change in demand due to the various factors like income, taste, trends, fashions, all these things in the shift in demand curve. And here what will happen? Here the price will remain constant. Okay, so here shift in demand curve is of two types: increase in demand and decrease in demand. Increase in demand means there is a situation where consumer buys larger amount of commodity due to the change in fashion, trend, or income of the consumer, or any price related good. And decrease in demand curve means there is a decrease in demand due to the change in change in fashion, trends, taste and preferences, all these things. So here we are keeping the price of the commodity constant and rest all the factors we are keeping independent. Okay, and we can see in this diagram, like uh, the price where p is constant. So the demand, what happened when there will be a change in, like due to the change in the quantity of demanded due to the factors like income of the consumer, taste and preferences of the consumer. So what we can see, that there's a rightward shift in demand curve from D1 to D2, which indicates that there's an increase in demand. Means from D1 to D2 means there's an increase in demand. Why? Because due to the factors affecting like income, taste and preferences, trends, fashion, these all independent factors are affecting the quantity demanded. And vice versa, if same happens, like the quantity demanded shifts from D1 to D3 or D1 or D2 to D3, then what will happen? That is called the decrease in demand situation. Okay, so these are the two terms: increase in demand and decrease in demand in shift in demand curve. Okay, so I hope you all have understood this change in quantity demanded, that is movement along the demand curve, and shift in the demand curve. Thank you.